Hey team, Coach Chad here. Today I'm going to talk about foot positions and points of pressure when you guys are squatting. Something that you guys can take to your practice on a daily basis, but also something I want you guys to explore a little bit and expand your level of awareness of your positions while moving through different exercise in the club. So back squats, front squats, even some of the dip positions for weightlifting, all of that, okay? So this is a bit of an experiment that you guys can try at home and just mess around with. The best way to do this is to do it without any shoes on. So I'm gonna take my shoes off and also my socks so that you guys can actually see what's happening within my foot. And just in case you can see in the video, it looks like, oh, my toenail's a little bruised. It's not. It's nice blue nail polish from my daughter, who did a fantastic job painting my nails the other day. Okay, so when we're squatting, as an example, what we always talk about is 3 points of contact on the floor, so within your foot. Now, a lot of times people misunderstand this a little bit. We always say below the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. So on the base of the foot, you can think of this as being kind of here, here, and here. These are your 3 points of contact that you want to keep down at all times. Now, when squatting, what you're going to see, and we always talk about in our classes, that if you just watch people's feet and their shoes when they move, you can tell a lot about what's going on upstream. You need to think about this as the roots into the floor. So we're gonna talk a lot about rooting, okay? Rooting yourself to the floor as best you can. So when doing this, another analogy you might wanna bring into play or consider is no different than doing handstand work or handstand walking practice. You think about your hand just as your foot, right? Your fingers should all be down, the base of the palm is down. You have different points of contact, but you're always using this as your guide to be moving back and forth, side to side. It's your hands that control it. We have a lot of proprioceptive feedback within our hands and our feet, so we've got to bring that into play. But surprisingly enough, most athletes don't even make themselves aware of this. So again, going back to an original statement, we need to improve our awareness of feet within our movement, okay? So a basic kind of primer. What I want you guys to be thinking about when you're moving is spreading your feet out as much as you can. Also, a side note, most of you are gonna be aware, you can't even move your feet and your toes very well because you don't have very great dexterity within them, okay? That's something we can talk about in later videos. But I want you to reach around and grab the floor, spread your toe box out as much as you can, okay? So you can see when I'm doing this, you can see that my toes are physically grabbing the floor. I always call this tiger toes, so you're grabbing your claws in. Now just recognize that's not this. If I was to do this, I lose pressure in the arch of my foot and in the base of my big toe, okay? So we want that toe down and in position. So if I move back just a little bit, I spread my feet out, I have 2 points of contact, 3 points of contact as I'm moving. Now, if I was going through a squat pattern, which I can't quite stand up because of the video here, and you think about knee positioning. So if my knee travels in, you can see, I hope you can see it in the video, but you can see a gap or pressure being lost under the lateral aspect of my front point of contact under my little toe, okay? And if I was to push my knee out too far, which is a common cue within the weight room, knees out, knees out. And I see sometimes that this is an excessive cue, which then drives this arch to be over-corrected, and now you have gap in here. Okay? And it can be subtle. You could imagine squatting with pieces of paper under your feet and you had individuals just pulling the paper out. Would they be able to get it? And the goal is that they wouldn't, okay? And then of course the more obvious one is front and back, where you're gonna have the heel lifting or your toes rising, okay? More importantly to this video, I think, is these 2 points in the front and understanding knee position, as well as just the ability and the concept of rooting into the floor. And I'm a firm believer and the fact that if we put all of our tension just around this, around our foot, most of the stuff up chain would be fixed as well. So we can use the foot as a real primary base foundational tool to understanding how to squat better. And from most coaches as well as athletes, this is something that gets neglected on a regular basis, okay? And then what I'd have you guys do is practice squatting at home with bare feet and just playing around with the positions, playing around, understanding what it feels like to move side to side, front and back. And again, all you're creating is awareness. Just imagine your awareness growing and growing. And as it grows, your ability, your capacity to move better while we're doing all of our strength exercises improves. And of course, this is a huge asset to whatever you're doing in life, in the weight room, whatever it might be. And it's gonna drastically improve your performance as well as your safety within the lifts. So again, play around with this drill at home, have some fun with it, and let some comments below if you have anything that you want to ask or anything that you guys have learned from here. Thanks, team.